Back on Inside Tennessee with our guest, Senator Becky Massey and Representative Sam McKenzie, both of the Knoxville area, talking about the latest special session by the state legislature. And Senator Massey, you made some great points about what is in the omnibus package and what isn't. There were several bills passed, several balls in the air throughout this session. Let's make sure our viewers understand what was in the omnibus package and then what other standalone bills were also passed, because there were several.
Okay, basically the omnibus bill was the big bill, and it addressed vaccines, it addressed masks, it addressed exemptions from some of these laws, it addressed the monoclonal antibody infusion, visitors in hospitals. So it was like the kind of the big bill. It addressed unemployment and the immunity bill that we passed a year ago. So it kind of lumped everything here, and were more just individually specific for their topic.
Mm-hmm. That's an important point, and we'll get to some of those specifics. And Representative McKenzie, one of the pushbacks we saw in the omnibus package in the conversation about mask mandates in businesses actually came from the Ford Motor Company saying, hey, wait a minute, at Ford, we're able to stay on the production line because we require masks among our employees. What can you tell our viewers about how adjustments were made there and what you think of that mandate and the back and forth about businesses, in particular private businesses?
Right. This bill was flat out bad for business. It does not put a good face on the state of Tennessee as far as being business friendly. My employer has a mask mandate, and it makes sense because we have several 24-hour operations. We're working closely together. All kinds of research is being done, and it just didn't make sense. So Ford, they have to produce automobiles for their market. We need those, and there's a process. We were there a week earlier, basically gave them close to $1 billion to come, and now this large employer is telling us this is not good for our business and probably not good for a lot of businesses. So they we ended up having a 40-minute delay while they dealt with the nuances of that. But once you get into the weeds, trying to make it good for Ford, what you're going to do is probably pass a bill that has a lot of mistakes and errors in it. It doesn't get to what we need, and it's a law it was untimely, hastily put together, and I really believe that's why the governor has delayed so long, because this bill shouldn't have gone through this process. We could have come back in January during the regular session and had time to fully understand, talk to the lobbyists, to our companies, to these people, and put together something that makes sense for the state of Tennessee.
Senator, what do you make of that criticism that this was a rushed process and we should have waited?
Well, I mean, there's always a time when things go a little quicker than we want, and sometimes they go a little slower, but the about the private businesses was not just about Ford. They were the ones that got all the attention, but basically any private business, as long as they're consistent, can require a mask to be worn in their business. And so it went beyond just Ford. But what the concern was is that our government entities, we did not want anyone to not be able to have access to our government entities because of a mask.
And because of this omnibus bill, Representative McKenzie, set aside the court challenges right now, is this going to impact the lives of Tennesseans in major ways, or was it much ado about nothing? What's your take?
That is a good question. I really don't think it's going to impact Tennesseans in the major ways. I think it was just a waste of time and money, and it's going to fund several law firms across the state. But in terms of what the core of what was done We could have done that. I think the executive branch could have managed everything that we passed there effectively. Again, we have health departments and health boards that are there for a reason. We're going to hopefully leave this to the experts and let them manage their areas, not do it by the Tennessee General Assembly. We're at a way too high of a level to have a good understanding of what's going on at that worker level, at the family level.
We're going to come back and talk more about those bills that were not a part of the omnibus package with our two local lawmakers on this Sunday morning and Inside Tennessee. Please stay with us.